flight had a Jim Wilson situation, which is code for a passenger dying midair. Did you know we can't tell you if someone dies mid-flight? It would cause panic. People would demand emergency landings. Passengers would refuse to sit near the body. The entire cabin would descend into chaos at 35,000 feet. So we have a protocol. We have a code. We call it Jim Wilson. When a passenger passes away and we can't move them, we recline their seat slightly, close their eyes, pull a blanket up to their chin, and pretend they're sleeping. We monitor the situation discreetly. We notify the captain through coded language, and we keep flying. Yesterday, on my flight from Chicago to London, I had to use the Jim Wilson protocol for the first time in my 12-year career. Seat 4, a window seat. An elderly gentleman named Robert, traveling alone to see his sister in Manchester. He had been quiet during boarding, polite when I offered him a drink, grateful for the extra pillow. Somewhere over the Atlantic, about 2 hours into the flight, I noticed he hadn't moved during the beverage service. His eyes were closed. His chest was still. I approached calmly, touched his shoulder gently, and felt the absence of warmth that tells you everything you need to know. Robert was gone. I signaled my colleague. We checked discreetly for a pulse, for breath, for any sign of life. There was none. We estimated he'd been gone for perhaps 30 minutes, peaceful and silent in his sleep. The plane was completely full. 218 passengers, every seat occupied. We couldn't move Robert to the galley or an empty row. There was nowhere to put him. So we followed protocol. I adjusted his blanket carefully, tucking it under his chin. I closed his eyes fully. I reclined his seat just enough to make him look comfortable. I strapped him in securely. To anyone walking past, he looked like an elderly man enjoying a very deep sleep. The problem was seat 4B, a businessman in an expensive suit, already irritated because his laptop wouldn't connect to the Wi-Fi. About an hour after Robert passed, his call button lit up with aggressive urgency. I approached with my practiced smile. "This old guy keeps leaning on me," he snapped, gesturing at Robert. "His shoulder is on my armrest. He's completely in my space. Can you wake him up and tell him to move?" My stomach turned. "I'm sorry, sir. He's just very deeply asleep. Long flight. Perhaps you could—" "I don't care how tired he is. It's rude. Wake him up." "I can't disturb him, sir. Would you like a complimentary drink?" He accepted the whiskey but continued glaring at Robert's motionless form. For the next 4 hours, I watched from my jump seat as this man waged a one-sided war against a corpse. He elbowed Robert's arm off the shared armrest. He huffed loudly every few minutes. He shifted dramatically, bumping against the body that couldn't feel anything anymore. He muttered about inconsiderate passengers and people who don't understand personal space. Once he actually shoved Robert's shoulder and said, "Hey, wake up, you're on my side." Robert, of course, did not respond. I felt sick. I wanted to tell him. I wanted to scream. But protocol demanded calm. Protocol demanded discretion. Protocol demanded I protect 200 passengers.